cost. You understand what I'm saying? People that one time or the other have given me responsibility and they notice, oh, this guy can do it. Oh, this guy is stable enough to be with us. Oh, this guy is humble enough. This guy is... So those are the things that I think has led us. And ultimately for me, I will not remove God from the equation. It's the only thing that gives everything I've described. So he takes the preeminence in everything I've described. And again, with those little personal details that I mentioned. So that is what I can say about that.
Great one. So consistency is key. And we should also have a mind of service, not just coming in like that. You need to be consistent.
Yes.
Service is very key. It's very important when you are going to active politics. All right. Please, if you have a question, just put it down in the comment section. Doctor will answer your questions, and it is my privilege to welcome Mr. Victor on the call. Mr. Victor is an aspirant at KISCOM community group. All right, it's good to have you here, sir. And before we also move on, when we started Chat with Nation Builders, is one of the programs Wale to is a program we bring captains of industries, leadership coaches, and those who have been in corridors of power to come and share, and also to teach this generation what leadership is really all about, so that we can do things right. All right. So thank you for joining this call. So I have one question before I go into answering your questions. Please just type your questions down. So, Doctor, can you quickly break it down for us? It is very important for me to ask you this question, because I have few friends that I want to join a political party, because for you to contest for any position, you need to join a party. You need to be a party faithful. You need to serve, like what you said, join for volunteers, serve, and all that. So can you break it down for us, understanding political party structure and how to key into party structure? Can you just, in a few minutes, break it down for us, understanding political party structure, so that we have a broad view of where we are going to?
Okay, sir. So I thank you for this opportunity, because you have given me a blank check to sell my party, and that is the All Progressives Congress. I only speak to APC, on APC, because that is the party I know, and that is the structure I can talk about. The most important, or the basic structure of our political party of the APC is at the ward level, is at the unit level. The parties start from, every politics is local, like they used to say. So you talk about the micro level of the political party, which is the unit. At that unit, you have people who are voting at a particular point, or particular station, or particular polling unit. They galvanize themselves. It is those people now that you can talk about, and they will bring themselves to come and form the ward. From that point, you begin to have ward executives, ward leaders. So you can have them as those that stood for elections, and they are now executive, maybe ward chairman, ward secretary, ward organizing secretary, as the case may be. But you see, have 2 or 3 other layers. They are not in position per se, but they are actually determining what is happening. And these are the elders that I spoke about earlier on. Maybe they were part of the ESCOs in the past, but they are no longer within the executive members, but they still have the hold of the party. These are people that gives direction at that level. And so, yes, you are talking to a ward ESCO, you are talking to a ward chairman, you are talking to a ward secretary. Of course, you are doing well. However, you need to go further by talking to the elders within that space, people that have gone ahead of you, people that knows the history. Those occupying the elected positions are just there for a term, maybe a term or 2 terms, maximum 8 years. But there are some people that have been playing that politics the last 30 years, the last 40 years. Those are the people that you must relate to, and every one of us must have a unit where you are voting or where you are from. You get what I'm saying? So from that word, then you go to the local government. The local government also has the local government also has its own structure where you have the executive members, you have people that are manning the party secretariat. Also at that level, there are leaders, there are people who decide political parties, who take political parties decision at that level as well. Then from there, you can now go to your federal constituency. The federal constituency, you know, in Nigeria, you have them about 3 or 2 local, some federal constituency, they have 2 local governments, some they have 3, and as the case may be. At that level also, you might not have the ESCO members for federal constituency, but you have leaders, you have opinion molders, you have people that will give direction. If anything wants to happen in that your federal constituency, they are the people they will be called, that will be called upon to come and say 1 or 2 things about who gets what where. And that is the definition of politics I mentioned earlier. These are the people that will sit down and look at you and say, oh, Mr. Jonah is good. We have known him. He can do it. He has capacity. This is who we are selling to you. And this is the person that must do this or that should do that or that can be considered for that. So that takes us also to the senatorial district. And so the senatorial district is a bit larger. In my own constituency, for example, is made up of 10 local governments. And so in Osun, we have 3 senatorial districts. So at that level also, you have leaders. You have people that decide and take decisions before you now come to the state, where you have the state ESCO. However, the most important is the unit, is the ward, it is local government. Those 3 levels must not be joked with for any politician, because if you stand for any election and you lose your polling unit, and you lose your political ward, and you lose your local government, you are losing your relevance. So nobody will take an army general serious when his soldiers have been killed. And you are now coming forward to say, oh, I'm a general, but you do not have any battalion. You understand? You are constantly losing. You are as good as your last game, like they say in football. You are as good as your last election as a politician. So you must go there and hold it down. You must go there and be popular. You must go there and galvanize people. You must identify with the people there at that level. Except you do that, you can't win an election. And there's no way you can talk to them and they will listen. And so there's a particular concept in our plan here that we talk about. That can only come to people who they actually know. That can only be sold to people who they trust and they have been seeing them for a very long time at that unit level. So that is just the structure that we have. And you know, from the state, you now have the zonal level, where you have the southwest zones. Like the last Congress we had in Abuja, you have zonal leaders. Then you can now talk about geopolitical zone, and you could talk about Nigeria. So that is the APC that I know. I don't know of other political parties.
All right. Thank you very much for breaking it down for us. I believe that we understood, bit by bit. Okay, before I go to Peter's question, Olufumi, please unmute your mic and ask your question, so that we can attend to you. Please unmute your mic and ask your question. All right, so that doctor can answer your question.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Tijani. What you've shared so far has been very inspiring. And it is even more inspiring because you are right from my state. I'm from Osun State as well.
Wow, fantastic.
So it's quite inspiring to hear from a young person from my state. Okay, so I have a few questions, and they're actually 3 questions. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Now, earlier you were saying something about like when running for an office, that's one should start early. Not that you wait 6 months to the time then you start, which is actually very logical. However, I wanted to ask, looking at your own journey, what were the specific things that maybe you did or you are doing now that you feel helped you in your journey and maybe prepared you for your journey, things that we can learn from? That's one question. I don't know if I should ask you one by one or I should ask all of them together.
Please go ahead. I'm taking note. Please go ahead.
All right, thank you. Then, apart from parties, because you talked about us joining groups and meeting with people who are like-minded, what, apart from like political parties, okay, joining APC, are there maybe groups, organizations, and forums, platforms that maybe you could suggest that upcoming young political leaders can join to learn and, of course, participate and maybe really engage like minds? That's one question. Then my final question is, now there's the way the whole voting and all works in Nigeria. That's where you are registered, where your PVC is registered is where you can vote.
Yes.
Now, what would you advise someone who is interested in politics at the local level, but they reside in another state? For example, let me use myself. I'm from Osun State, but I reside in Lagos. And I'm interested, okay, say, let me start from the local level. So I'm now in a dilemma because my card is registered in Lagos.
Okay.
So I don't know, what advice would you have for someone like that?
Okay. Let me take, thank you
very
so
much.
Thank you so much. Let me take the last one first. So you are a resident in Lagos and you want to play politics in Osun, you want to vote in Osun. What you simply do is to relocate your voter's card. I did that one time also because I was in Lagos until 2010 that I came to Osun. So all you needed to do is to, I don't know if it's still open, if that opportunity is still open, but you can see the INEC website. I think inecnigeria.org will give information as regards that. So what you need to do is to relocate your voter's card to that your specific unit. So for example, when we're talking about relevance at the local level, it is your unit that is mostly relevant. That is the people they know. That is it. And I don't want to mention any name now. You can see there is a particular presidential aspirant, a media mogul, that went to his village where he came from. He came to Gogon and he has been to Edo just to identify with his people, because that is very key. So you must be ready to do that. You relocate your voter's card to that your unit where you come from in Osun. We have to look at your ward, we have to look at your polling unit and relocate your voter's card so that you can be an eligible voter. The second question you asked borders on what groups or platform I can recommend. Like I said to Mr. John the other time, Jonah the other time, that I thank him for this opportunity to sell APC. The Progressive Youth Forum is there for you to join. We welcome you with open arms. But I also know there are certain non-governmental organizations that are very, very active, like Yaga Africa. I follow them. That's a collection of Nigerian youth that are monitoring what is going on in the political space, and I love the energy. That's for me. I don't have many of them, but I can say those two. If you want to play real party politics as a young person, the Progressive Youth Forum is a place to be. If you want to align with the NGOs, Yaga Africa is doing a lot. They will do election monitoring, they will do political debates, they will do aspirant unveiling. They do a lot of things that will also give you like a background or back-end information about what is going on in Nigeria political space. And the first question you asked was about what I did specifically. I mentioned it earlier on. I said, for example, when I was in secondary school, I actually contested to become a president of Interact Club of Anwar Islam Model College, Agege. And I won by a slim margin of 1 vote. That taught me something early in life, early enough, that what is key, if you want to serve and the people says you can't serve them, there's nothing you can do about it, since it's a democracy. So what I actually do ever since is to sell myself to the people, is to be available to the people. By being available, I do not mean financial wise. There are little things that these people do that you will not think it should count for something, but it does. Let me give you an instance. Our people love celebration. Our people love culture. Our people want to be identified with. Our people want to see their representative or their leading light coming to identify with them. They love it, they cherish it. So when you give that to them, they return back to you what you are also expecting from them, which is the support. So what I did specifically is to get that information early in life that I needed to cut people. I needed to make myself available to people and be humble with it. Number 2 is consistency. So if I go back last 10 years, last 20 years, I can tell you specifically where I was part-time and who I was dealing with and where they are now. You understand what I'm saying? So consistency is also there. But more importantly for me is your ability to deliver on responsibility. Nobody will call you again for the next time. If you fail once, because we have a lot of people ready or staying on queue, ready to take whatever opportunity that comes because we are so many. You do not have to, you must try at all times to be in your best element every time. When they give you responsibility, you deliver. Even when it is not easy, you have to deliver. Even when you know this is against your I'm not saying anything illegal. This is against your expectation. Oh, you expect to leave a particular space by 4 p.m. or a certain day, you could not because you have to do more. Please do more. Those things count for something. And so that is what I can say. You must be ready to live a life of sacrifice. You must be competent in what you do. You must identify with your people to tell them that, oh, yes, I can see you. Like I used to tell people, if you can't identify with them, why do you want to represent them? A lot of the youth do not want to identify with the local people, and you want to represent them. If you can't identify with them, then you can't represent them. This is party politics, and it is popular democracy. The numbers will always win. You need them. It is not about vote buying now. Nobody is even criminal in Nigeria. Nobody will advocate for that. But you must put yourself in the minds of people so much that they will say it is you they want. So when it comes to primary election, they put you forward. When it comes to like if you want to become an aide in whatever platform, at whatever level, it is the political party that will bring your name. In our case in Osun, when the commissioners were to be selected, Mr. Governor, His Excellency Gboyega Oyetola sent a message to all the political wards, all the party members and what have you, that they should give him three names per local government. And so among those three, he made his choice based on their CV. You could not have been selected if you have not identified with those people. And so today, those people, when they go back, they are torn. Nobody is speaking Turanchi, it's not English. It is about what I've been able to do for my people in the past and what I'm doing now. So that is what I can say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for breaking, for expanding on that. And it's a great lesson for everyone to, before you join politics, you must go back to your ward. It's very important for you to go there. You can't just become president. You have to start, starting from the ward level, and it's very important. Also, we have with us here Mr. Agida Emmanuel. He's a special assistant to the commissioner of Osun State. Also, he's a good friend and brother. Welcome here, Honorable Emmanuel Agida. So before I turn to Peter, one of our mentors in the house here has a comment. He wants to also contribute. So let's give him time to also make his contribution. Mr. Michael Flanshak. Thank you very much, sir. You can go ahead, sir.
Yes. So
Sir, your mic is muted.
Okay, right. Is my mic still muted?
No, we can hear you now. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you now.
All right. Good evening, Wale.
Thank you, sir. Welcome.
Good evening to the very resourceful guest speaker for today.
Thank you, sir.
I hope you are still in Abuja for the convention, or you have gone back to Osun.
I'm currently in Osun, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, well, congratulations for the success of the convention.
Thank you, sir.
Well, by way of comments, all I would like to do is to align totally to what you have given a proper insight as to what is found on the field. And what I want to say is that there is need for the youth to actually disabuse their minds. Because when you look at politics as a dirty game, you look at politics as if that means you lack actual comprehension of what leadership is all about. Remember, all of us went through school, and then all of us are involved in one form of activity or the other. It is the same politics that is played at home that is the same politics that is played in school, is the same politics that is played at the workplace, is the same politics that is also played at the workplace. So it is a function of knowing what you want, putting in place the strategies that will deliver what you want to do, and working assiduously to ensure that you get that thing. So the way and manner you go about it is a function of the strategies that you put in place. And for me, you don't get active in politics by contesting election. It means you are not learning the rudiments of apprenticeship.
Yeah.
You must first learn. And learning has to do with 1, study, 2, observation. Then the critical aspect of learning is mentorship. You need to look at the footprints of those that have gone ahead so that you are able to, 1, learn from them. And then the second thing, you're also able to avoid the pitfalls that they fell inside. Now, if we take a statistics of those people that are on this platform with us this evening, how many can show their voters' cards? That is the first stage. How many people online right now have their voters' cards? The second issue is, how many of them have got membership cards of political parties? Because in Nigeria, the only vehicle on which you can run an election is membership of a political party. Right. So if you don't have a membership card of a political party, it means you are not yet ready to embark on the journey. That is the first step. Then the second thing, you see, one thing we need to understand is that the Sorosoke that was done during the NSAS was just a happenstance. You don't write on that to win an election. Because 80 to 90% of the fallout of that were emotional or sentimental decisions. But when you want to run an election, it is structures that you use to run an election. And so, for me, the beginning point is that it's like the mistake TSTV did when they said they wanted to launch into the Nigerian market. DSTV is the market leader. You cannot come into the market by challenging a market leader. Because 1, you don't have the capacity. 2, you don't have the resources. 3, you don't have the wherewithal. And so it was a strategy that was dead on arrival. And that is why till date, I am not sure that they have been able to stabilize their business because of how they approach the market. It is the same thing that we're trying to do politically. Unfortunately, my friend and colleague contested for the national woman leader in this last convention of APC. But you see, when the issue of the consensus arrangement came up, people that do not understand politics started reacting that they are wicked. But politics is about interests.
Yes, it is.
It's about interest, because the person that has the 4 aces looks at which way is easier for him to win. Remember, it's about influence.
Yes.
Nobody will follow that route that will guarantee victory for his own opponent. Nobody will do that. And the fact that I have the capacity and I have that influence, you don't begin to rub it on me as if I am being mean.
That's
because
correct.
you have the same opportunity, you will do worse.
That's correct.
And so for me, it looks as if there is some bit of political naivety amongst the youths. And that is why people think occupying political position, you need to know someone, you need to do certain things that are out of the box and things like that, which personally I don't see as being true. What is important is what level of service are you offering at your little level? You cannot be a member of the party. It's just like somebody working in Coca-Cola and expecting to take salary from 7-Up. It does not work. So please, the first thing is we need to have some sort of paradigm shift politically. We need to do some level of advocacy, some level of political awareness upon the youth. Let them understand that what gives you an elective position is not that you bear the toga of being a youth, but is that first you must be involved. And like you said, involvement, as long as you are not registered, but your polling station and then at your political ward, at your ward level, forget about anything. Because even appointments, it is from the ward level. That is where your membership card is supposed to emanate from.
Yes.
So I think we should go back to the drawing board, and then let us not begin to look to political positions yet. Let us begin to look to what level of influence can we begin to generate within our own social sphere, because that is the beginning. You must have a constituency, because even if you go to offer yourself to be voted for, primarily your support base must be from your constituency.
Yes.
So if we have the youth as a constituency, the youth should be able to also build like some sort of acculturation amongst themselves to be able to create that awareness. Every party has got a youth wing. It is unfortunate. Most youth leaders are people that are already over the years of 50 or 60, because those that is legitimately theirs are not participating. And nature itself abhors a vacuum.
Correct.
For me, thank you for what Wale is doing, but I think the major task before Wale should be that of advocacy. Begin to create awareness. The mantra we should begin to sell now is get involved. Let me be involved. Let us be involved. Let us get involved. Get back to our respective wards. Let us begin to create that awareness. Let people begin to see us as solution providers, not just to sit on the fence and keep criticizing and abusing. Because as we keep criticizing, we keep abusing, those that are playing it actively will just continue to get results and will continue to play the victim mentality. So, Mr. Jonah, it's good you've started this platform, but I think the beginning thing is, let's begin the advocacy campaign. Let's begin to get people involved, not because they want to contest for a position, but because it is their civic responsibility to get involved. As people get involved, certain things will begin to occur naturally. You discover you cannot hide, you can't, like they say, you can't just see. No, I'm almost, sorry, I got this thing. What I'm trying to say is that, you know, the moment you show yourself, people are observing, you will be identified. And as you are identified, you don't need to struggle for any position. When the opening shows itself, naturally you will be called onto. Nobody just wakes up and he is beckoned to come and participate without some sort of evidence seen in what he has done. Look at the national youth leader that was elected. When you see his CV, you can see that, yes, he has paid the dues. So it's not by chance or by happenstance that he has gotten as the national youth leader of APC. So I think it's a clarion call for all of us. While we continue these engagements, those of us that have been able to go ahead, let us mentor the younger ones. And to the younger ones, let your hearts be open. It is not about, don't look at it about the perks of the office. Because you see someone with an official car, you see them enjoying certain benefits. Let that not be the motivation. Let the motivation be the service that you are willing to offer. Because if not, you will get carried away when the same opportunity presents itself. But I want to tell you, political office is sweet. However, the challenges and the headache that comes with it you need to develop that thick skin and that capacity to be able to handle that aspect. Thank you. May God bless us all.
Thank you, sir. Very insightful.
Thank you very much, sir. It was sent from our mentor, Mr. Michael. Thank you very much for that insight. Thank you, Dr. Wale, and thank you, Mr. Michael, for coming in to help us answer some of these critical questions. All right, so before we'll soon go, but before that, if you have any other question, I don't know if anyone has a question, you can mute your mic and ask your question. All right, you can mute your mic and ask your question. Please, you can mute your mic. Someone is interfering, please. Olayinka, please, can you mute your mic, please? Olayinka, please, can you mute your mic for us? Thank you very much. All right, so I think Peter hit on a very critical point. He was like, okay, can we take godfatherism away from because I think this is one thing that is discouraging the youth to participate. Godfatherism, is there a way we can take this away out so that we can have a say? Because in politics today, you must have a godfather for you to succeed, for you to gain some position. But is it possible for us to take this part away so that when we get there, we can make a decision by ourselves without going to report to one man that is sitting at home controlling us? Is it possible, sir, that we trash it out?
Well, thank you very much. Before I respond to that, let me welcome Mr. Emmanuel Agida. Mr. Emmanuel Agida is my boss anyway, so you are welcome, sir.
Doctor, your boy.
Having said that,
it's a pleasure to be learning from you again, sir.
Yeah, please, when else you are going to Abuja, take me along. Go. I'm open.
I'm your boy, sir. I'm looking up to you.
Thank you. Let me also mention that I've read the chats. I've seen people's messages. We thank you for those comments. Strictly to the godfatherism that you mentioned, I would say it is not possible. Why do I say so? Anywhere, across all sectors, some people came before you. In the care guide, as one particular statement they usually say, they will say, I were before you were. It means somebody actually came before you, you arrived. Across all sectors, some people have been there, some people were there, some people will continue to be there. You met some people there. And so that's the context from which I will be looking at godfatherism from. However, what I do not subscribe to is transactional godfatherism. How do I mean? A godfather that says, okay, I'm spending 3 naira to prepare you to a certain position, to assist you, or I'm bringing you closer to me. So at the end of the day, I'm willing to, or I'm open to benefit so and so from you. And you have that discussion or that expectation is there. That is the kind of godfatherism that I do not subscribe to. I can tell you for free that the current seat that I'm sitting on, that platform was actually given to me by somebody I consider or I regard as my godfather. And that's the Honorable Commissioner of Finance, Osun, Honorable Bola Oyebamiji. He's been taking me along with him for years. He's been showing me, Wale, this is what you need to do, this is how to behave, and this is the trend, this is what you must learn. Even in terms of personal development, he will tell me, Wale, oh, they are that place, you are too aggressive, you shouldn't have spoken like that. Okay, this is the way you have to talk. And to so much that they begin to yield certain spaces for you. Okay, I have this function, it is you that will go and represent me, go and deliver this paper. They are giving you that space for you to blossom. That is the essence of godfatherism. The godfatherism in code that people do not like, that I don't like, is the transactional godfatherism that wants to look at everything in terms of transaction. I put in 2 naira, I'm getting 3 naira back. But if you actually want to play politics all over the world, you must align with some people that came before you. You will not start your own politics. You will not start your own political party. Even if you do, you are going to cause some people that have been there before you. So you can. There's no way you can play down on godfatherism. Some people we hold your hand. Some people will lead you through. Some people will recommend you. Some people will give you advice. Some people will support you spiritually, financially, or otherwise, emotionally. You know, those are also godfathers in their own right. But what I do not like is a transactional godfather that at all costs you must always be subservient to. You must always yield to. You are not allowed to have your own mindset. You are not allowed to be your own man. You are not allowed to run your own program. You are not allowed to. That is what we should play down on. And one critical point that I will emphasize is that before you pick anybody as your mentor or as your godfather, you really have to understand the person. What are the traits that actually that has attracted you to that person? What are you seeing? You cannot just bump into any random person and say, "Oh, you are not my godfather." It is incumbent upon you and I to ensure that we select the right people. You must not be greedy with it. You must not be rushed into it. Because loyalty is a currency in politics. Your social capital is laced with loyalty. If I notice that, okay, you were with Mr. Lagbaja or Mr. A by January, and by February you are coming back to Mr. B and you are saying that Mr. A is not good, in politics it will be counted against you. So before you attach yourself to anybody, before you begin to follow anybody, because before you become a godson to anybody, what are the qualities that you are seeing in that person that attracted you to him? What are the traits? What do you know about the person? Is it a person of good character? Is it somebody you can identify with? Is it somebody you can actually represent? Is it somebody you can voice or you can vouch for? I can tell you for free that the people that have been opportunity to work with, there are people that when they send me out, Wale, go and represent me at some place, I will go there and speak as if they are the ones speaking, because I know them, because I can relate with their ideas and I know what they stand for. So that is what I will say about that, please.
Wow. Enlightening. Thank you very much, sir. And I can see two people identifying. I don't know if you have a question, if you want to ask a question, but we have just 15 minutes to run off this session. Please, if you have a question, kindly signify. I can see Olufumi again and Mr. Michael. Okay, so let me start with Mr. Michael. After that, I will take Olufumi. If you have one other question, we will take before we go. So if you have contribution question, just signify by raising your hand. Thank you. Mr. Michael, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jonah. I don't know if I'm audible enough. Can you hear me?
We can hear each other.
Okay, I can go ahead.
Yes, go ahead, please.
It's not a question. What I want to say is you need to disabuse your mind. You see, you have not yet embarked on a journey. You are already complaining about the possible things. This issue of godfatherism is something getting taken out of context. And people have only been using it as a way of pouring political favor to vilify certain people. Let us be very sincere. Is there any of us that in this life does not have a benefactor one way or the other? Let us be sincere. We make it look as if these things that happen is rocket science. No. Where each of us sits today, we have an uncle that may have played a role in getting us into school, or may have played a role in getting us into appointments somewhere, people in church that may have played a role in getting us into particular places. We don't call those ones godfathers. But the reality is that the role they play, is it not what is defined as the issue of what pitfalls you encounter on the way should not be the determinant of whether you'll do that journey or not. Let us get involved. Let us get involved. And as the journey goes by, we will understand how relationships are horizontally and vertically, and we'll also understand the interplay of certain synergies. For now, you see, a lot of people are still naive, so whatever you say, they interpret it from a different perspective. But as we get going, a lot of things will be made plain, and I'm sure people will understand certain things in a better perspective. So for now, advocacy, let us belong, let us belong. Leave issue of godfatherism for now. When we get to that place, we will cross it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Peter, I think your question has been answered. All right, so I will take Olufumi. After that, we will not take any other question again. So please go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. Once again, thank you so much. Now, it's actually referring to this having, whether you call it godfather or mentor. And really, like Dr. Tijani said, even in other areas of life, it's something you need. Having a mentor or a sponsor is very important. We can't deny that. However, my question is, with us that are females, the challenge is usually extra. Like, for example, as a guy, you can easily say, oh, I can help you with this, I can help you with that. But in a case with a lady, once again, I'm going to use myself as an example. When I began to know that, okay, I needed to start preparing myself and all that, I thought to not even did it deliberately, but it happened, and I got to meet with someone who is quite involved in politics. Next thing, okay, I really wanted to be taken serious, but the next thing, this person is talking about, he wants to make me a second wife, and things like that. This is a married man, an old married man. Of course, I manage the situation. That's what I when it comes to people, I think I have that special grace. But I've been managing the situation such that, okay, he doesn't get upset, while at the same time not proceeding further. So just trying to let him know I'm not that kind of person. However, it does not become difficult because to a large extent, him not necessarily taking me seriously, so to say, okay, come and be involved in what I do, or when I ask questions, he just like pushes aside. His focus is, I can build a house for you in Abuja. I can, those kind of things. So what would you say? I know you're a man, but I don't know in your at least the years you've been able to of experience you've been able to gain. What exactly would you advise? Because this has happened too many times. How exactly would you advise a lady to manage this when navigating the political space? Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Olufumi. To be sincere with you, the challenges are there. They will continue to be there because we are talking about relationship between humans. There is no hard rule in politics about what to do and what not to do when it comes to interpersonal relationship. However, like you said, in the instance you mentioned, you actually handled it very well by not being frontal. Even if it's a man, the moment you are frontal in any form or they see a semblance of that in you, they might begin to shut down your kite. It's unfortunate that we have to deal with this, but those are the ceilings that females have to go through, glass ceilings that females have to go through to get to where they desire or the position they desire. However, I will continue to say this. Based on my own little experience that I've seen here, I've seen women, and I can tell you this for free. I've seen women that have been able to hold their own because of their capacity. When you have capacity and you have value to add, of course, initially all these things will come. If you have the resilience to go further, to be able to show your capacity, you eventually get to your destination. It won't stop. It's not only in politics, it happens in academics, it happens in entertainment, it happens in sport, it happens in the market, it happens in the religious houses. because it's a question of interpersonal relationship and lack of discipline, I should say. So don't be deterred. It will continue to happen, even in National Assembly. Even at the presidency, I'm not saying Nigeria's presidency, but we have seen cases in America that a president, understand what I'm talking about. So because it's a question of the human interaction, it will continue to happen. However, your ability to manage this is what we should strengthen, is what we should dwell on. And thereafter, your capability, your capacity. A lot of us mill around the politicians, male, female. We will give them the loyalty, we will be blind with it without having any capability or capacity. But if you know you have something to offer, like I used to say, if you are loaded, you'll be needed. It might not be in the immediate period to push you into standing for a political position. It might just be in another capacity. When they know you can add value to them in this place, you build it gradually. If it's about grassroots mobilization, if it's about online platform, if it's about media strategy, if it's about, we have all these departments that you can actually play and will give you opportunity to showcase yourself. And then more people will notice you, and you can get across to a larger audience than that Baba or the married man or the unmarried guys within the environment. That's number one. Number two is that you also, as a person, you must be disciplined. Discipline in terms of, you have your mentor, you have your godfather. Let them know this is my godfather, this is my mentor, and you are not gallivanting from one point to the other. Like I mentioned earlier on, loyalty is key. You have to understand where you want to belong, and the moment you take your decision, you stand by them. It happens in politics as well. They know themselves. If anybody sees me tomorrow anywhere, they will call the name of my mentor immediately and say that is so person's boy. They will say that is Bola's boy. That's Bola Oyebamiji's boy. That happens in politics. If you see anybody now, you can say, okay, that is Jagaban's boy. That is Sheyi Makide's boy. It happens. Let them identify you to a particular school of thought when it comes to politics, and they will leave you alone over time. You have to be disciplined yourself. You must have something you are bringing to the table, and you must be able to, your emotional intelligence must be so high that you can manage yourself. You have managed yourself in the academics, in the industry. You also you survive in the political space as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much for that insight. Okay, thank you. We have just 7 minutes before the end of this call. All right, Doctor, election is getting closer. We are in pre-election year. All right, and what do you think? What's your advice for the youth? This will be the last question before we close. So, what's your advice for the youth? Because, I mean, it seems they are still relaxed, waiting for election to, to come. All right, so I believe that the right time to start doing something, I can't say now, all right, we have started since last 2 years or last year, but within this short time that we have, what do you think should be the role of the youth towards nation building? What can they do now? It's getting closer and closer. All right, so what's your advice?
The first thing I would say is that, like the earlier speaker said, realization of the fact that politics counts for everything now. We must get to that point where we know that it's important for us to be involved. We must get ourselves to a point where we see politics as a make or break of the next 4 years for all of us. So we have to be ready. We have to appreciate the fact that this politics is not to be left to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. It has to be played by the vast majority because it's a democracy, and the youth have the number. That's number one. Number two is also to galvanize ourselves in such a way that we can tilt the pendulum. The youth have the numbers. What are we telling ourselves? I go on Twitter from time to time, and the conversation there, for me, is not inspiring. It's about, what it is, the F word, the S word. Nobody is even talking about nation building. They have abandoned it, and so the next thing everybody is thinking about is Japa. With every language slang now, you see it trending, Japa, Shakpa, all these, when more important issues are there for us to tackle. So we must also begin to galvanize ourselves. I'm sorry. I won't say it is late because 2023 is just here. The politicians have started their own since how many years? So if you want to beat them now, so you can't beat. How do you want to do it? 774 local government. Do you even have the numbers to go around the local government? Talk less of the wards. How do you galvanize people at that level? But we can use the platform available to ourselves. The internet is there. We can do a lot of things remotely now. Let us galvanize. Let us sell the story. Let us begin to alert people that 2023 is another year, and it's not only election year alone. Let us sell the gospel that politics is defining everything now. Politics is what we should take care of if we are serious about nation building. And so for me, for some of us that also have the skills, maybe we should, apart from the national youth policy, I don't know how many youth have seen that national youth policy anyway. We must go and read those things so that we can hold our representative, our government accountable. You have put this policy, you say this is what you will do. How far are you doing them? And so I will link that to us having a roadmap, implementable roadmap. Even if we are not in position to implement those roadmaps, let us avail them. Let us make them available to people. Let us showcase them. Let us use all the platforms to say, okay, this is what we think you should be doing in education. This is what we think you should be doing for us in sport. This is what let us set agenda. The youth should be setting agenda now. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, you see us talking about SAPA, JAPA, all these kind of issues that do not add value to us. Agenda setting should actually be the youth. When you talk about immigration issues, it is the youth. When you talk about education, it is the youth. You talk about sport and entertainment, health, it is the youth. So we must be ready to set agenda for everyone. And lastly, I will say that participation. Let us participate across board. For those that have their voters card, let us be ready to use them. Tell one person to tell another person. Let us look at the candidates coming out now. Don't be sentimental about it. Which of them has that capacity to deliver? And I will tell you for free that APC is ready to give you the best of the best when it comes to 2023 elections. So that is what I can say about that. Let us galvanize ourselves. Let us realize that we have a role to play. Let us know that our role can actually make things better for all of us. It's important. It's very important. Let us be the critical mass that will set agenda for the politicians. I know they will do it. Once they see a popular agenda and they see the number behind it, you see them, the politician who knows how to get these things done, they will bring themselves on board and they will want to run with you. So that is what I want to say. And like you mentioned, the not too young to run, after the not too young to run law in place now, how many of us have actually run? What is the percentage? I read somewhere recently that we have only increased maybe by about 3 or 4% in terms of political participation for the youth that are stood for election. That's too small. You know, we might be talking about the issues of poverty, funding, thuggery, but what are we doing to achieve our goal amidst those challenges? That's what I would say.
Wow. Thank you very much, Doctor. I must say that this is one of the most impactful sessions. All right. Thank you for sharing. I want to encourage all the youth, right? Go and get your voter's card. Go back to your ward. Join a ward today. Be recognized. Let them know you, sir. All right. Don't go with the mindset of becoming youth leader. Start from service, volunteer. And I think we can have a greater nation if we can all put all this together. Social media is there, maximize it. Election is here, all right? And we are still talking. We want a good governance, good government, but what are you doing? So thank you very much for sharing. I believe that we'll go back to most of these things. Doctor also recommended the book for us, National Youth Policy. Go and read that book. Look for it. Read the book. Let's get ready for election. Let's get ready for politics. Let's push in and contribute to our nation building. I must say thank you very much, Dr. Wale Tijani, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Osun State. Thank you, Honorable Emmanuel Legida, Special Assistant to the Commissioner for for children and social and all of that. Thank you very much for joining, and my board of directors, director of programs, director of communications, and all of you, trainings and all of that. Thank you for joining, and our friends, our invitees. I mean, I appreciate you for joining this call. I believe that you've learned something. Thank you very much. So before we go, I want us to, we have our social media platforms. This program will hold again sometime in May, but it will be on Instagram. So you need to follow us on Instagram, While at Hub. Just go there, search While at Hub Africa on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, so that you can be part of these programs. We have a lot coming up. We have many platforms for youth participation. This is a platform for learning. We don't just talk politics alone, talk leadership, talk personal development, talk everything. So you need to, follow us so that you can have this information, so that we can grow together. This is the platform you want to be. So you must follow us. You must be a part of this if you want to grow, all right? And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, While at Hub TV, so that when we drop stuff there, you can get them. I must say that this session was one of the greatest sessions we had. Thank you very much, Dr. Wale, once again for coming. I mean, such an honor to have you. We didn't have to write letters. We didn't have to go through sending mails. Thank you, Honorable Agida, for that access. I mean, it's a great one having you here. We will have you sometime very soon. We will have you again, Doctor. You are a great teacher, great leadership teacher. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for breaking it down for us to understand. It was such an impactful session. So thank you once again, everyone. You will hear from us. Just follow us on social media platforms, our Instagram, While at Hub Africa. Thank you. Follow us on our Facebook, While at Hub. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube so that you can get more of this. We have different platforms. If you follow us, you will see all of that. And if you want to be part of our WhatsApp community, you can reach out to me via Instagram. You can also follow me on Instagram, Owidowo Jonah. If you search, you will see me there so that you can contact me privately. We have a lot to do as youth, and I believe that we have a role to play towards nation building. It's the bridge that we all have to cross together. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you, Mr. Jonah. It's a pleasure to be with you.
All right.
And I hope to do this again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. And thank you
everyone. Thank you so much.
God bless you. Thank you.
All right, bye.
See you.